for the Hurricanes. And LSU offensive lineman Cam Wire may not play Saturday in the Tigers' SEC opener against Mississippi State. Wire had to leave the opener against UCLA with an apparent knee injury.
Coming up Thursday, it's Saints-Patriots in Week 3 with no Brady and no Breeze. So we'll tell you which franchise this game is more important for. That's Thursday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford coming to you live from the palatial confines of WZZN Radio.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
It may not.
Palatial. This thing has been called many things.
Well, we'll call it palatial.
But it's manly. It's rustic. It's
football-y. It's sportsy.
Yes, we got football helmets, ESPN banners. Yeah, it's.
We got it all. Well, hey, we got a good show for you tonight. By the way, that was Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board. He and I are here. Smokey Mike is behind the glass running the board. Colonel Tom is injured. He will be back he'll be with us a little bit tonight to whine a bit. But we're here tonight. We got two things to talk about. One is the 3-0 Army West Point Black Knights, who came off a great win last week. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the upcoming match with one of the oldest colleges in the country, the Miami of Ohio Warhawks.
Well, oldest colleges or oldest college football programs?
Both. Let's put it this way. It was signed into action by George Washington, was the one who signed the paperwork that said.
Well, that's right, because Washington had land holdings and was involved in some of the military campaigns out on the frontier of Ohio.
And he said, okay. I want to see a university there.
Look at you.
Look at me.
A little history rama.
Got all kinds of stuff in my bag of tricks tonight. And a quarter after the hour, we're going to have Coach Saga Tuatele, who is the offensive line coach for Army in his second tour of duty at Army. 7:30, we have blogger extraordinaire and also guest on the NFL Network every now and then, Conrad Crane. And then we're going to talk a little Miami and Mave and take some of your phone calls. But tonight, Steve, we got to do it. Colonel Tom, where are you at? Put yourself on the radio.
Yeah, well, being on the injured reserve sucks. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's right. We had to call the training room to see. You're probably in an ice bath or something.
Literally, I am. Well, no, I get the cast off tomorrow or on Friday, and so then I'll be able to start icing and stuff. But it's been a little interesting. But hey, 3-0, man, can't beat that. And it was at least a very impressive first half last week.
Well, and by the way, it was good to see you come rolling into the sports bar on your little scooter the other day. It was so
little
fresh.
Scooter. But yeah, you need some Army bumper stickers for your scooter, and you need to pimp your ride,
And you need a little horn and a bell on it. Ding ding ding.
Yeah,
ding.
Or a little squeeze horn. Yeah, there you go. Well, how is the recovery coming along?
It's good. No, it's been not much pain. I guess y'all have said last week I tore my Achilles doing a very sedentary getting off my motorcycle.
Man.
And, it was a complete tear. Had surgery a week ago, and so it's a 4 to 6 month recovery.
Wow,
so.
Man. Well, being patient is the name of that game. But hey, the hot topic of today within Army football fandom is the Tennessee Vols tuck and tail and belling out of next year's game. So what do you think about the Vols bowing out and cutting Army a check for $500,000?
I like that. Getting paid for doing nothing. It's kind of like being retired from the Army, but. Yeah, no, it's disappointing. We scheduled these premier games several years out, and to lose a game like Tennessee is just such a disappointment. Really, I think disappointed in the Tennessee decision. But I could see it's not wouldn't be good to get spanked by Army in front of the home crowd. So,
well, the thing is, I think that's a very telling statement about both programs. It says, hey, here's where Tennessee's at this in their lifespan under Coach Heupel, and they're not willing to take a chance on a team that might beat them. They'd rather pay them money and bring in a cupcake. And it's also a rather telling statement for the Army program that an SEC school says, I don't know about that. Let's just give these guys a check and tell them to go away.
Yeah, and it communicates Tennessee's opinion of the team that they replaced us with, the perennial powerhouse of the Akron Zips. And so it's, and the frustrating thing is, that pretty much relegates us, a year out. You're not going to find another FBS team that has a hole in their schedule. So we're going to have to go out and find an FCS team, and we'll be right back to. Yes.
I don't know. We did pretty good last year. Maybe we'll be optimistic. I think it's really interesting in light of Miami, Ohio's coach, and the way he talked about the Army football program and kind of what an honor it was to play against us. And then, the next day you get this note from Tennessee. And you're like,
now the comment from that Miami coach, was that right before or after he said that we cheat and we'll do anything?
And we're mean.
And
we
we're
kick
mean.
people in the ankles, and we pull their hair.
Basically, we play to win. It's a dogfight. And
it was interesting, because you're right. He did convey a level of respect, but at the same time, there were just multiple veiled insults in there. And and a successful coach like him, you don't say anything in the public, and especially in front of the press, unless there's a purpose behind what he was trying to say.
Well, hopefully, what he said is going to come back and haunt him on Saturday, but. So, Tom, I'll close Tennessee with this. The last time I was there, I was a cadet, 1978, misbehaved a little bit and came back to West Point with 65 tours on the area waiting for me. So, that was
nobody can top your story.
Well, that is true. Hey, my final comment about Tennessee, I'm sure most of the listeners out there know this, but for those who are not, Tennessee Stadium is named after Brigadier General Neyland, class of 1919.
Not 2019.
Not 2019. And it's just a shame. And they were supposed to have a Medal of Honor celebration at halftime since Army was going to be there and all that, and supposedly all that was kicked to the curb. But and they're blaming it all on a decision from the previous athletic administration. Yeah, it was just it was classless.
Well, hey, the bottom line is that they did what they did, and it's going to haunt them, and it's something like that's going to haunt you in recruiting too. But on to better things, 52-21 over the Connecticut Huskies. Pretty good game, huh? Well, we all watched it together. Steve was in Texas, but good game, huh? Tom?
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I thought we completely dominated the first half, and then as we ran a bunch of subs in, you really showed some weakness on our depth and special teams. But other than that, it was a very good showing for the Army team.
Yeah, and that was a question I had. Yeah, to me, the one real black mark on the game was that we gave up two big plays, one a running touchdown, another one a 50-yard pass, but that kickoff return for a touchdown, and I have
nobody touched him.
I didn't record it in the replays. I can't tell if those were starting special teamers or backup or whatever. But yeah, it was that was very disappointing.
Well, you never let the facts get in the way of a good story. I'm sure they were second and third team.
Well, I can tell you what they really were in both of those kickoff returns is they were spectators. Nobody touched the run on either one of them. He just ran unabated.
Yeah, and we got our fat pulled out of the fire on the other one. There was a penalty of it, or we may have had two return. I'm sure Coach Saturnio was probably in those
livid
folks' faces come Monday morning. and probably in the film room on Sunday. So I'm sure given the quality coach he is, he'll get that tightened up, and we won't see that again.
Well, I thought it was interesting at the game. I was sitting there watching it with a roster in my hand, and there were people on there who weren't even on the roster. I was going, who is this guy? I've never, his number is here, but he ain't. So I didn't get it. But I guess that's what happens. You played 80 players during the game, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and one thing, Gordon Larson over at Rivals went through the PFF stats, and on defense there were 9 people that played that were not on the 2-deep chart. So that again, that's third and fourth teamers. And on offense, there were 13 players that were third team or lower that got reps during the game. So, I'm sure that'll play dividends probably later on this season, but certainly in the years to come, getting those reps.
Hey, Steve, what is PFF?
It is I forget what it stands for, but it's a company that does all the analytics.
Oh, okay.
They look at every play and every player's performance and every play of a game and compile stats. They give individual ratings for individual players. It's pretty remarkable, but it's a subscription service, so I just read what people post about it.
I just, in the Army, we have so many acronyms. I thought PFF might stand for something like Play for Fun or something like that.
It's professional football something. Yeah, it's
Professional Football Foundation. Let's call it that and go with it.
Yeah, what the heck.
Well, Tom, we're going to let you go and let you go get back and get ice on your cast or do whatever you want to do.
Hey, Tom, text me your prediction for the Miami, and when we give our predictions at the end of the game, I'll share yours.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Hey, well, good luck and beat Miami of Ohio.
Beat them.
Okay, well, Mike, I think is it time for our first break? Mike says, yes, it is. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have Coach Saka Tuatele. I think that's how you say his name. He'll be with us in a bit. Yep. Coming back soon.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubbies Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50s-style diner food and meat-and-free meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubbies Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Born Henry Louis Aaron.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I'm here along with Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, and we're going to talk right now to Coach Saga Tuatele. Coach, did I say your last name correct?
That's good. It's Tuatele, but you call me Coach T.
Okay.
Coach T.
Coach T.
Coach T, we can deal with that. Well, first of all, Coach, congratulations on a very great win last week. I mean, just, we got 503 yards rushing, but you can't do that without the offensive line, and it looked to me like the guys played great.
They came out, it started with practice. They had a great week of practice. Tuesdays usually are more physical practice and in full gear, and then Wednesday is still a very physical practice. And they didn't waste a rep, and they did a great job, and our scout teams did a great job of competing and yelling at each other, and it was fiery. And you come out to our practice, it's like a fist fight, and it's unbelievable. And then it carries over, so it's the speed, the violence, and then the love we have for each other afterwards. But it's competitive, man. It's grimy, as the kids say.
That's great to hear. Noah Knapp was thrown into the breach when Connor Bishop went down. What's your assessment of his performance as the starting center since he's jumped in there?
Noah's had an interesting history here at West Point. He started off as a center, and he started some games as a sophomore. And then last year as a sophomore in 2019, and in 2020 he was in a battle versus Connor Bishop at center, and he lost the battle. But then he started some games because of some injuries, and he actually started our bowl game, played a big role in the Army Naval. So he played a lot of downs at center. And then in the offseason we said, all right, we had a pretty good center in Connor Bishop. Let's see if Noah can compete somewhere else. And then Noah won the starting guard. And when Connor went down against Western Kentucky, Noah kind of he's like, hey, I know what to do. He took his glove off. He took some practice snaps, and I looked at him and said, hey, we're thinking about, going to shotgun this first snap. He goes, I'm good. Whatever. I'm good. And he's just the confidence. So his confidence, he didn't flinch. And he's got some things to work on, being a center, and it's a whole lot different when you got to worry about one more thing. At guard, it's fun. It's easy. You just get to, you go step right foot, step left foot, go hit something. At center, you got to make some calls. You got to make sure that ball gets up to the quarterback. You got to make sure it's on time. At guard, I said, hey, you had it easy now. Now you got to truly think and refocus at center. But he did a great job, and he didn't flinch.
Well, Coach, speaking of Connor, I know you probably can't get into specifics, but how's he looking? And when do you anticipate a return?
He's looking good. Like every day, we went from he can barely move, but now it's like, okay, we think he's going to be closer sooner rather than later. So I'm not sure the timeline on that type of injury. Big body, and when you get a lower extremity injury, it may take a little bit longer, or it may take a lot sooner than you think because of his the weight can hinder you, but it also can hide the fact that hey, he's ready to go. Get out there, tape it up. So our trainer's doing a good job, and Connor's trying to bust his tail and get out there, and he's done a great job of being Coach Bishop and just seeing everything, and I think it's helped him even more. He's very cerebral. In the classroom, he's one of the smart. He's a 4.0 student.
Wow.
And then it carries. Yeah, he's in, and this is West Point. It's not. The college I went to. It's just not Portland State University. But so he's cerebral there. He's cerebral in the football game, and it's further helped his understanding of the offense.
Wow, that's great. That's fantastic. Wanted to do a little compare and contrast with you. So you came back. This was you're currently in your second stint at West Point. You arrived just as the pandemic. We were still trying to figure out if we had a pandemic, and then in 2020, spring ball was impacted. Preseason was impacted. How has this year gone differently, and good, bad, or indifferent without those heavy obstacles?
Well, I get to know, I got to know my players the hard way last year through Zoom, through, when they got here, they got back to campus in June of 2020. There were still so many restrictions. So, my interaction with the players personally just wasn't what I thought it would be. And we made the most of it, and we got as close as we can. And this time around is, you get a full off season of winter conditioning, and we push our guys more than anybody else I've ever seen in college football. So that's building your relationship, and then you get the chance to have the guys over your house, and so you get to build tighter relationships, more bonds. They get to be around our family now within the COVID restrictions, but you get to build those relationships. To me, those relationships are bigger than what you can do in a spring practice and what you can do in the summer workouts, because the bonds you build with your players, who will later on become your friends when it's all said and done. So to me, that's the biggest thing, and I think that's the biggest thing that that I missed from last year coming to this year. And obviously, spring practice is spring practice, and you get to see the younger guys develop, and the older guys, you just try to keep them healthy and dust some of the cricketies out of them. But you're mainly looking at the young guys and seeing who can develop, and they have. But it's the relationship building and having the guys over, playing with my kids, and just hanging out with my family.
Now see, I can't imagine having all those offensive linemen over to my house and be responsible for feeding them. That's
you must have a big grill.
Yeah. So Coach Davis and I, and Coach Davis, we share the offensive line, and it's amazing, and we're neighbors. So we all live next to each other. So one week I'll take them and they'll come over and they'll just play in the house, and we share like a common backyard area, and then we'll take them all over there, or we'll go to Coach Davis' basement, and the wives do a great job. You're right, and you would think that college kids would be a little bit picky, and I'm throwing things at these kids. I'm Samoan, so I'm throwing some in what's your Hawaiian food, what people would
outstanding.
And these kids have never seen it. I was like, hey, in my culture, macaroni salad counted as a salad, so eat up. And they were loving it.
Doing any Spam or poi?
Absolutely. The Spam, I said, if you don't know what Spam is, fellas, don't knock it till you try it.
No, it's good stuff. Well, hey, Coach, I do have one question for you.
Yes.
You've been there before. You were at Army, and then you came back. Is there any difference in the culture there now under Coach Monken versus your previous administration?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been asked that a lot, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to have the second chance to come here. But and I enjoyed my time here the first time. But Coach Monken brings an edge, a winning culture, and I don't say just winning culture, but the culture of just the trust in each other, the commitment to each other, and love. And what it is he doesn't let any little thing slide. And whether you're a senior that's went through the prep school and you're a starter, or you're the incoming freshman, all the standards are the same. So you have all the standards are the same. You can have high expectations. And I always reference this, and I always tell this story to my buddies. And we get off the plane on the road trips. Coach Monken and the senior on the team and the leadership committee, they're cleaning the plane and they're helping take the luggage off the plane. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
And I will take that with the rest of me. But that's that culture of just true service and love for each other, as opposed to, the colleges. I'm not just putting it here at West Point, but just the different colleges I've been a part of. It's been more of a business deal to where, hey, you care about the kids, but it's a little bit more business-like. So this was a good breath of fresh air for me personally, and all my stops in college football, but especially the last two times, is the culture of winning and the pride that we have in this Army football brotherhood. And as a coach, the responsibility that we have is building leaders and continuing the leadership roles and keeping the expectations and standards high to where if he's not dressed right, I'm on him. It's the same thing as if he doesn't block the right guy, I'm on him just as hard as if he doesn't wear the correct socks. Those are the standards that Coach Martin has instituted here. That it's unbelievable.
That's fantastic. Looking ahead to Saturday, playing a Red Hawks team that has had sort of mixed results, pretty much got manhandled by a top 10 Cincinnati team, played a Big Ten Minnesota team very tough, and had it not been for a couple turnovers, they might have won that thing. And then most recently a fairly weak FCS team. What kind of challenges do you feel like they will present in terms of what your offensive linemen will line up against, both in terms of talent and schemes?
I think, and just to get it clear, Cincinnati is going to manhandle a lot of people. That's a good team. So the record is misleading. They're a good team. So their defensive line is very talented. They're very active. Austin, they're number 92. It's just he's an unbelievable athlete, and he does a great job of reading run-pass progressions. And you can't fool them. And they have this young defensive tackle, number 99, who's very athletic, and he's going to be something special. And they've got, experienced ends that they've got the size, the length, and just a pure change of direction to give any offense problems. So I think their strength is in their front seven. That they have a linebacker, Ivan Pace, who's a thumper and who can run, number 0. He does a great job, and even their back row guys. I mean, they play that 4-2-5 defense where there's kind of 3 safeties out there, and those corners can play man to man with anybody. And it showed. They weren't getting blown right past. Against Cincinnati and Minnesota. And you forget Cincinnati has a first day pick quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And he had to drop some dimes in there to make them accurate passes to get his yardage. And Minnesota's got one of the biggest offensive lines I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Classic Big Ten.
In human history. Oh, my goodness. And they weren't pushing these guys around. So I think our challenge is to be able to sustain blocks and not just get in the way. And I think these guys do a really good job of recognizing its run pass and then recognizing where we're trying to go and then getting off the block. They're very well coached, and my hat is tipped to their coaching staff and especially the defense coach. I mean, they're a solid team. So.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we hate that the train has interrupted this interview. This train, by the way, on the studio, the track only goes about a half a mile. I think we've had people say that the engineer on that train wears a Navy hat and he just aggravates us on purpose. So, Coach, thank you for the time. If we ever get up there, maybe we'll swing by your house and get some good Polynesian cooking.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right,
we got macaroni salad and spam waiting for you.
There you go. Sounds good.
We'll have a spam ham. Well, Coach, thank you much for coming on with us. Smokey Mike, let's go ahead and take a break.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll be back in a few minutes with Army blogger extraordinaire Conrad Crane.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubbies Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-free meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubbies Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached boost for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Protecting your family is a priority. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your home and your family. But they do actually expire. The expert electricians at Mr. Sparky will test and advise or install the best unit for your home. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. This is I, the illustrious Crawdad, alongside Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board.
See, you keep using those words, illustrious.
Illustrious.
Again, if someone asked me to describe you, Bill, I love you like a brother, but, you know, illustrious would not probably crack the top 5.
Well, I know a lot of other people in my life who wouldn't use that word either. But, hey, before we get to Conrad Crane, I just want to mention, you heard Tom Abraham talk about North Alabama Mortgage and Brian Hamaker. I've gotten to know Brian this year. He is an absolute great guy. A great sponsor to our show. And the one thing Brian always wants me to mention is that his company really loves to work with veterans. They specialize in VA loans. If you're a veteran out there and you need to do something, either buy a house, refinance, cash it out, buy something else, remodel, Brian's the person you need to see, and you can get that ball rolling at NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. That's their preferred method of contact. So
good people.
Good people.
Yeah.
And now, speaking of good people, we've got Conrad Crane, Army blogger extraordinaire, and also I have seen him on many things on the History Channel and NFL shows. Conrad, how are you doing?
Well, I'm not doing as illustrious as you guys, but I'm doing fine.
Well, that's okay.
Even more so.
Even more so. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us today to talk about, as you call it, the game where Army was a merciful host in your blog. Just give us some general impressions on the game, and then we'll get into some of the specifics.
Well, I thought, generally, I've been impressed with the offense. I suspect that Zach Harding's going to have to punt this week. But I'm concerned about the defense. That the defense continues to show vulnerability to the long bomb, and I don't know how people keep getting behind us. Even Connecticut could have had a couple of touchdowns if they had a competent passer and competent receivers. So I'm concerned some about that. But I think that the game comes this week it's shaping up a lot like the game in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, in your blog that you put out, item number 1, you talked about the injuries. Where do you think that has been most impactful from a negative perspective?
Well, I mean, I was concerned when they lost Connor Bishop, but your guest there has done a great job with that offensive line. It looks like Knapp has moved over, and the offensive line looked pretty solid last week. I'm concerned about the defensive line. I mean, both Bonsu went out, only played a little bit, went out with some kind of a leg tweak, and then Ryan Duran seemed to really mess up an arm. He was in a sling and civvies at the end of the game. I noticed he's still on the depth chart for this week coming up, so I don't know if that's right or not. But I'm overall, I don't see a lot of depth, I guess, on defense especially, and I'm concerned that these things will accumulate in that real tough stretch in the middle of the year, where we're playing Wisconsin, Wake Forest, and Air Force in succession. That's, to me, that's really the center of gravity for the season. Those 3 games determine that this is a great year, mediocre, or good year. But I'm just worried about them building up. I mean, we can always afford 1 or 2, but it's when they get clumped in certain parts of the team that's where we're going to be in trouble.
Well, Conrad, you mentioned the depth chart that now is published by Army. It's reminds me of an old joke about the Atlanta Braves, where they said the Atlanta Braves and Michael Jackson both wore 1 glove for no apparent reason. And I think, Army publishes this depth chart for no apparent reason. I don't think it means anything. But one thing on the depth chart it does say is Christian Anderson or Tyler are going to be quarterback.
Yeah, it said that the last couple of weeks.
I know it said that, and Tyler's in civvies one time, but I think Christian Anderson has really matured as a quarterback. He's added a passing element to the game. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Anderson also is a better ball handler than Tyler. I mean, Anderson, when Tyler plays quarterback, Tyler's a great runner. He's a solid runner, but a lot of his offense tends to be Tyler or the fullback. With Anderson, he makes the pitches outside. He does very good fakes. He distributes the ball, and you're right. I've been very impressed with his passing arm the last couple of games. It's been on the mark. It's been accurate. It's been sharp passes. I think he adds an extra dimension to the offense. Like I said in the blog, I'm impressed with this offense is showing a real, the long strike capability, whether it's with the passes, which, we've got at least 1 key pass every game, or Robinson and Walters going, Walters around the end on the one play, Robinson going to the middle on the other. I mean, we got a little bit of speed in the slot backs. I was impressed with that long strike capability. The offense is clicking.
There was an article on Rivals that highlighted that since 2016, Coach Monken has been 5-1 against MAC teams and 5-0 since 2017. That seems to be a conference that's comparable in talent and recruiting to Army. Why do you think Monken has experienced that kind of success against MAC teams recently?
It's good. He's played kind of the right MAC teams. I mean, I'll be interested to see how the Ball State game goes, because Ball State has been upper echelon MAC. But I mean, the MAC teams are comparable. We've played the right MAC team, I would say. But we also play. I mean, I don't know if it's a confidence factor or there's no intimidation involved there. I just think we feel really confident against MAC teams. The record's there. They're not intimidating. They're, a lot of it's attitude, and I think we go into those games pretty confident we're going to beat them. They've been some close ones. I mean, you can remember, that, like I said, that wild 2018 game against Miami, where they went for 2 points instead of going for the tie to try to end the game, and the defense just shredded that 2-point play. I mean, it was like Keystone Cops trying to get in. They really wrecked it. So, I mean, it's you got to be in sympathy or in reference though to Miami in that first game against Cincinnati. They didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yes,
so that was another factor in there. And Gabbard is really talented, and again, we have not shown the ability to handle a real good quarterback here. So it's going to be a test for the defense to try to contain him. But the key is always to the option system is the offense just got to control the clock and control the game the way it has been, except for the last 10 minutes of the Western Kentucky game.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing we have to do, and it's kind of been absent the last couple of games, is getting any pressure on the passer whatsoever. I don't know if it was you or Johnny Brooks, but I recall one of the bloggers said that their opposing quarterback had enough time to recite the Gettysburg Address, and there certainly was that going on this past couple of weeks. So I think one of the keys to the game is we've got to get our pass rush back. We just can't let these guys. You can only hold a receiver for so long. If you let him run around for 4 seconds, somebody's going to get open. So our defensive line's got to do their job this week.
I mean, I think the Gettysburg Address is pretty short. It's more like Pericles' funeral oration. I mean, they've really had a lot of time back there. But I thought that I was watching Ryan or Andre Carter, who's been leading the country in sacks, and then he got in a couple times against Connecticut, but they were obviously trying to stay away from him. So the teams are adjusting to that capability. We're getting a couple sacks. I mean, again, I thought Western Kentucky got away with murder in that game. I really thought that there was a lot of holding that wasn't called. Didn't see that.
No doubt.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, no doubt. And before we let you go, we need a pick for the game versus the Red Hawks.
You know that I don't make picks, but I will say this: that people should expect the game. I think a lot like the 2018 game. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be close. And I think it's be good for the team to have the schedule is set up very nicely. They get Miami, a mid-range MAC team, then they get to play Ball State, which is moving up a little bit in capability, and then they hit the tough stretch. So I think it's a good game at the right time for this team. I think it's a winnable game, but again, I think it's going to be a battle like 2018.
All right. Well, hey, I tend to agree with that, and thank you for your time tonight. And
yes, thank you all, and just thank you for keeping the Army football faithful informed.
So I tell you, I thanks a lot. Part of the benefits of that is getting to talk to you guys, so I appreciate it.
No.
All right. Well, Con, we'll let you go. Good luck. Go Army. Beat the Red Hawks. And before we get out of here, let everybody know if you want to give us a call in the last segment of the show, 256-576-4977. Crawdad and the Human Ouija Board shall return in a moment.
AVIQ.
Who is AVIQ?
AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner of University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. And a quick shout out to my son, Avery Seaton, number 19. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including our all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and the sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in the Kia. Go Mustangs!
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
The Tennessee Valley's home of ESPN Radio is 97.7 The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. That was a station owner Wes Neighbors commercial that got cut off.
We got cut off. We must be a big deal around here.
I don't get it. Well, hey, we're going to get right back into it. We have Michael standing by. Michael, go ahead. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Crawdad. This is Michael Beans, your classmate and Redondo buddy.
Man, the Michael Bean.
How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Things got any better. I couldn't stand it.
Well, Mike, I know it's a week late, but I would like to remind everybody that not only were you a retired Army officer, but you were one of the real heroes of 9/11, and I've always been proud of that.
In the Pentagon, yeah.
In the Pentagon when the trouble broke, and And Mike, let me ask, and also for our listeners, when Mike was in the Pentagon, he was one of the authors of the initial policies to allow Army football players to try to take a chance at the pros. So that obviously has come to fruition now. So, Mike, what do you think about the team this year?
I tell you, well, first thing, like you guys have said, we're 3-0, and you got to be happy about that. And they've really looked good at doing that. And there's a couple things that kind of stand out to me as we go out, and some of them are obvious and everything else. One, we're kind of set at quarterback. We've got a bunch of guys that can play, and a bunch of winners there too. With Kristen Anderson, Tyler, and I like Jamel is one of my favorites. So we got winners there, and that you got to feel comfortable about that. But the only thing that I've seen that we need to try to improve is on defense. We have potentially given up some big plays and given up some big plays.
Yeah.
And that's something that we kind of got to get under the wrap there, because we've got some teams that I think are going to be real friendly to us on that, and they're going to make some of those. But other than that, I'm telling you, I think I'm comfortable where we're going and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, what do you think about the Red Hawks this weekend?
The Red Hawks, I tell you, I think they're going to be a challenge to us. They've got good players. There's no doubt about that. And I heard that coach's diatribe of talking about us and everything else. And I think they'll challenge us at the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to probably try to throw the ball on us because I think they'll see they may have a little more success there. And I look at this as a close game. And I do believe Army will win. But we're going to be challenged here at least for the first half.
All right, Mike. Well, hey, I think you're right. I think it is going to be a close game, and if they ever have another Recondo training session that you and I get invited to, remind me not to go. And thanks for the call tonight, Mike, and we'll go ahead and let you go. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, just real quick, looking ahead to future opponents of noteworthy. As Conrad talked about, Ball State's been pretty decent in recent years. They finished in the top 25 last year, but they have struggled this year. They're now 1-2, and they lost most recently to Wyoming, 12-45. Other noteworthy, Wake Forest seems to be the real deal, and Florida State appears to really be struggling because Wake Forest beat Florida State, beat the Seminoles 35-14, and that has knocked Florida State out of the top 100 FBS teams in a long time since they've been there. And the other thing we talked about on our Facebook page, Air Force lost to Utah State 45-49. Both teams put up over 600 yards of offense. So I don't know if that's a testimony to the team's offense or that neither one of them have a capable defense. So looking ahead, we had 3 teams that had byes, including Wisconsin and Navy. So the schedule is still panning out. That I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'll just put it that way.
Well, that's good. Well, hey, speaking of liking what we're seeing, now let's get into just a little bit about the Miami, Ohio University Red Hawks. Their motto is to accomplish without being conspicuous. Hopefully they are not conspicuous this weekend in what should be a loss. By the way, it's one of the oldest universities in the United States. It was signed into existence by George Washington, one of our presidents from a long time ago.
Yeah.
In fact, he was the first president. But the Red Hawks, they're a team to be reckoned with. We've talked about that a good bit. They have a good quarterback. His name is Brett Gabbert, and he is the brother of Blaine Gabbert, who's a long time
pedigree. And as we talked about with Conrad, they opened up the season losing 14-49 to a very good, very solid Cincinnati team, and they ended up -2 on the turnover margin when they played Minnesota, and lost by 5 points. And had they hung on to the ball, who knows? But again, they most recently defeated Long Island University. But out of 128 FCS teams, Long Island is ranked 123. So not a very formidable opponent. So it's going to be there's a little bit of a question mark on what kind of team we're going to be facing on Saturday. But we can't take any team lightly.
No, and by the way, for our listeners out there, FCS means little schools.
Yes, the old school people. That's Division I, 2A.
Yes, and FCS and FBS. I keep them straight in my pea-sized brain by saying FBS are football big schools. That's like us in Alabama. But Miami scores a lot of points, 27 points a game. They have about the equal rushing and passing, but their runners aren't getting a whole lot of yards per carry, about 3 to 4. And the key, though, is our pass defense has got to wake up. You know, they had sleeping sickness. They must have been bitten by the tsetse fly the last couple of games, and they need to come out of it. We got some, I almost said a bad word, you know, like Markel Broughton. He's a great player. He's a ball hawk. He's all over the place. We just have to cover him a little bit better.
Yeah, because I will say on the defense, there have been times when we are locked down coverage. In the very next play, there's a single missed coverage, and they can find it. We're playing capable quarterbacks that can do that check down, find the open individual. So it's bringing about some of the consistencies. But you're right, Broughton, amazing. 2 weeks in a row, defensive player of the week. And it not only is he's had 2 consecutive interceptions, but when he runs to the ball. And just loves to do those high impact things.
Okay, Steve, time is catching us. Give me a prediction.
Contrary to what we've heard so far, I think we're going to actually beat the point spread finally this week, and we're going to win 34-21.
Well, I'm going to give the same score as the Alabama-Florida game, 31-29. I think it's going to be a barn burner. And unlike last week where we could have left if we wanted to.
Yep.
Okay, folks, we got to get out here. Steve, how many days quickly?
There are 79 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
And remember this, folks, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, there is a soldier somewhere standing a watch in a nasty place probably, so you can enjoy the life you have in this great